The cold hum of the space station filled the room as Mara stared out of the large viewport. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction, their light dancing across the sleek metal walls. Below her, the planet Zorath spun slowly, its surface, a swirl of green and violet energy. It was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. The planet had been marked as unstable by the Galactic Exploration Council, but humanity's curiosity never cared much for warnings. Mara turned to Eli, who was checking the controls at the central console. He adjusted a panel of blinking lights and sighed. The anomaly is affecting our systems more than I expected. Life support is holding, but only barely. Mara's eyes narrowed. Then we don't have time to waste. We were sent here for a reason. If we wait any longer, we might lose the chance to complete the experiment. Eli hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck. I know, but what if the energy readings spike again? The last surge almost fried the main reactor. One wrong move and we could be stranded, or worse. Mara stepped closer, her boots clinking softly against the metal floor. Eli, finally alone. Do it already. Eli looked at her, seeing the determination in her eyes. She wasn't asking. She was insisting. And he knew she was right. They were the only humans left on this station after the automated evacuation. Their team had been withdrawn to safety when the first energy surge appeared, but Mara and Eli had stayed behind. Someone had to finish the mission. He nodded. Okay. Let's do it. The room hummed louder as Eli began the process. Panels lit up, and the central console displayed a cascade of numbers and symbols that neither Mara nor Eli could read fully. Yet both understood the importance. They were unlocking energy from Zorath's core, something no human had ever tried before. Mara moved to assist, checking readings and calibrating instruments. Every adjustment was critical. The station shivered as the planet pulsed with invisible energy. Outside, strange lights shimmered across the surface, forming patterns that seemed almost deliberate, like a silent message waiting to be understood. Eli glanced at the viewport, awe replacing his worry for a moment. Do you see that? He whispered. It's like the planet is alive. Mara nodded, her fingers dancing across the control panel. I know. And we are part of it now. Every step we take, every decision, it matters. The hum grew into a low vibration that ran through the floor, up through their boots and into their bones. The energy was not just around them, it was moving through them. Mara felt a rush of adrenaline. This was what exploration was about. This was humanity, at its best, bold, brave, and unafraid to reach beyond the known. Eli, increase the containment field by 10%, Mara instructed. We need to stabilize the energy flow before it overwhelms the system. He complied, hands steady despite the tension. The screens flashed warnings, but he ignored them. Trusting Mara's instincts, he adjusted the controls. The vibration subsided slightly and the station steadied. For a moment, the two humans stood in silence, listening to the soft hum of their craft and gazing at the strange beauty of Zorath. Here, isolated from the rest of humanity, they felt both small and powerful. Small because the universe was immense and unpredictable, and powerful because they were capable of doing what no one else could. But the peace did not last long. A sudden spike in the energy readings made the lights flicker. Red warning signals flashed across the consoles. Eli, it's rising too fast, Mara shouted. Contain it. He worked quickly, adjusting the containment matrices, sweat forming on his brow despite the station's controlled temperature. The hum grew louder, almost like a voice whispering through metal and air. Mara's heart raced, but her mind stayed clear. She directed Eli, guided him through the complex adjustments. Together, they were unstoppable. Then, the unexpected happened. Outside, the shimmering lights on the planet's surface rearranged themselves into a complex pattern, a spiral that seemed to mirror the movement of the energy within their station. Mara gasped. It's communicating, somehow. The planet. It's trying to tell us something. Eli's eyes widened. Communicate? But it's a planet. How can it? Not just a planet, Mara interrupted, her voice firm. Something intelligent is here, and we're the first to notice it. We have to proceed carefully, but we can't stop now. For the next hour, Mara and Eli worked in perfect coordination. Every calculation, every adjustment, brought the station closer to understanding the planet's energy. The tension was high, but neither felt fear in the way most humans would. Fear could paralyze, but excitement could drive brilliance, and humans were built for brilliance. By the time the first small stabilization occurred, Mara allowed herself a small smile. See? We can do this. Eli, still focused on the console, gave a short nod. Yeah, we can. It's incredible. As the day wore on, they discovered more signs of intelligence, bursts of energy that seemed to respond to their movements, pulses that matched their commands. Each discovery brought new questions and new risks, but both Mara and Eli felt a profound sense of purpose. This was humanity at its best, curious, inventive, brave, and capable of understanding what others might fear. Night, or what counted for night on a space station orbiting a distant planet, fell. The stars outside became sharper, more brilliant against the black void. Mara leaned against the viewport, taking a deep breath. Eli, do you ever think about how small we are? Out here, all alone. Eli glanced up from the console. All the time. But that's the point, isn't it? Being small in a big universe, yet still making a difference, that's what humans do. Mara smiled. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's easy to forget when you're stuck inside metal walls and blinking lights. The station trembled again. A soft warning this time. More of a reminder than a threat. Mara and Eli exchanged a glance. They were alone, isolated. But that isolation was not weakness, it was opportunity. No distractions, no bureaucracy, no hesitation. Just two humans facing a challenge that could define humanity's place among the stars. Finally alone. And it's up to us, Mara whispered. Eli nodded. Let's make it count. Together they returned to their work. The experiment continued, the energy readings climbing and stabilizing. The station and the planet locked in a delicate dance. For Mara and Eli, every second was a test of skill, every movement a statement of human capability. They were explorers, pioneers, and witnesses to something extraordinary. As the first part of the experiment concluded, the station stabilized, and the energy readings became steady. Mara allowed herself another smile. We did it, for now. Eli, exhausted but exhilarated, sank into a chair. Yeah, for now. But Mara, something tells me this is only the beginning. And outside, on the planet below, the shimmering lights pulsed in response, as if the planet itself had understood. Humanity had reached out and the universe had answered. The isolation no longer felt empty. It felt alive. The hum of the station had settled into a steady rhythm, but the air still carried the tension of the unknown. Mara and Eli stood side by side in the control room, eyes fixed on the main console. The experiment they had started yesterday was beginning to take shape. Slowly, the strange energy from the planet Zorath was flowing into the station's systems, weaving patterns of light and power across the screens. Eli adjusted a dial cautiously. The energy is stabilizing, but only at a low level. If we push too hard, the system could fail. Mara, her hair pulled back in a tight braid, leaned closer. We have to push, Eli. We can't stop now. Every reading we collect now is valuable. If we succeed, humanity will understand a type of energy no one has ever seen before. He hesitated for a moment, glancing at the glowing spiral of lights on the planet below. It's beautiful, and I think it's responding to us. Mara smiled, though her expression was serious. Exactly. It's alive in a sense. But alive doesn't mean it wants to harm us. It's curious, just like us. Let's see how far we can go. Eli nodded, taking a deep breath. With a steady hand, he increased the containment field, allowing more of the planet's energy to flow into the station. Immediately, the lights on the console flickered and the soft hum grew louder. The entire station seemed to vibrate in response. Mara felt it in her chest, a thrilling pulse that was almost like a heartbeat. "Do you feel that?" she asked. "It's communicating with us, I think. We're part of something bigger." Eli's eyes widened. "It's like it understands us. Maybe it knows we are humans. Maybe it knows we're exploring, not invading." Outside, the planet shimmered with streaks of violet and green light. They danced across the surface in complex patterns, moving as if in rhythm with the energy that now filled the station. Mara stared, captivated. "It's incredible. We're not just observing it. We're interacting with it. And it's interacting with us." For hours, the two worked together, calibrating instruments, taking readings, and recording every pulse of energy. They were careful, but daring, pushing the experiment further while staying alert to the station's warnings. The energy responded to their presence, sometimes growing stronger when they approached certain controls, sometimes quieting when they stepped away. It was as if the planet itself had a mind, and that mind was curious about the humans who dared to touch it. Eli wiped sweat from his brow. "Mara, look at this reading." He pointed to a graph on the screen. The energy was forming patterns that seemed deliberate, almost like symbols. "It's sending us something, but what? I don't know how to read it." Mara's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Then we figure it out. Humans are good at puzzles. We've always been good at understanding things that don't make sense. At first. We'll learn its language, one pattern at a time." She stepped closer to the viewport, studying the planet's surface. The lights shimmered and shifted, spiraling upward from the planet's core in waves. Mara realized that the patterns were responding to the experiment itself, adapting as the energy flowed into the station. It was a dance, a connection, and for the first time, she understood that humans were not just observers. They were participants. Eli joined her at the viewport. "Do you think it's intelligent?" Mara nodded slowly. "Yes, not in the way we think of life with hearts or lungs or bones, but it's aware. It reacts. It adapts. And it's curious. That's intelligence." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden spike in the energy readings. Red lights flashed across the consoles and the hum rose to a deafening level. The station shook violently. Mara grabbed a handle, steadying herself. "Eli, contain it now," she shouted. He worked quickly, his fingers moving across the controls with practiced precision. The energy surged, then with a sudden shift stabilized. Both humans breathed heavily, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Mara grinned. "See? We can handle it. Humanity can handle it." Eli chuckled, still tense. "Yeah. But it's scary, it's powerful, and it's alive. I didn't think I'd be talking to a planet today." Mara laughed softly. "Welcome to exploration, Eli. You get used to the unexpected." For the next several hours, they continued their work. They tested the energy flow, recorded every fluctuation, and even tried subtle changes to see how the planet would respond. Slowly, patterns emerged. The planet seemed to recognize their presence as intelligent. When they increased the energy flow carefully, the planet pulsed in reply. When they paused, it waited, silent, as if expecting them to act. At one point, Mara noticed a sequence of pulses that matched their own signals almost perfectly. "Eli, it's responding to us in real time. It's like a conversation without words. It's waiting for us to make the next move." Eli's jaw dropped. "A conversation with a planet? That's unbelievable. And we're the first humans it's ever spoken to." Mara nodded. "We have to be careful. This is delicate. But we can learn from it. Humanity has always been brave enough to take risks when others wouldn't. And now, we're making history." Hours turned into what felt like minutes. They were completely absorbed in the experiment, each new discovery more fascinating than the last. Every spike, every pulse, every flash of light was a puzzle, and they were eager to solve it. The energy that had seemed so dangerous at first now felt like a guide, a partner in their work. By the time the station's internal systems were fully synchronized with Zorath's energy, Mara and Eli had a sense of accomplishment that few humans ever experience. They had not just survived, they had interacted in a meaningful way with something completely alien. Mara leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "We've done it, Eli. We've made contact. Not with words, not with speech, but with energy, patterns, understanding." Eli smiled, finally relaxing. "Yeah, and it's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. Humans, we really can do anything when we work together." Mara nodded. "Exactly. That's what this is all about. Curiosity, courage, intelligence. Humans have always reached for the unknown, and now we've reached farther than anyone else." The station vibrated softly, a gentle reminder that the planet was still present, still alive, and still communicating. Mara placed her hand on the console, almost as if she could feel the pulse of Zorath beneath her fingers. "I think it understands us," she whispered. Eli joined her, resting a hand beside hers. "And I think it likes us." Outside, the planet continued to shimmer and shift, light spiraling in response to their presence. It was a quiet, beautiful moment of connection, one that reminded Mara and Eli why humans explored in the first place. Not for conquest, not for power, but for understanding, for discovery, and for the joy of learning something new. As they prepared for the next phase of the experiment, both knew that this was only the beginning. The energy of Zorath held secrets, puzzles, and knowledge that humans had never seen. And for the first time, Mara and Eli felt the full weight and excitement of what it meant to be alone. Alone in a vast universe, yet connected to something bigger than themselves. Mara smiled, looking at Eli. Finally alone, and yet never truly alone. Humanity has made a friend today. Eli nodded, awe and pride shining in his eyes. And tomorrow, we learn more. The station hummed softly, synchronized with the planet below, as the two humans settled into a rhythm of careful study and observation. The experiment had succeeded beyond expectations, and as the lights outside continued to dance, Mara and Eli knew that humanity had taken a step toward understanding a living world, and perhaps the universe itself. In the stillness, one thought remained clear. Human courage, curiosity, and intelligence were powerful. Even alone, humans could face the unknown and turn it into wonder. The hum of the space station had become a comforting presence for Mara and Eli. Days of careful observation and experimentation had given them confidence, but the true nature of Zorath remained a mystery. They had stabilized the energy flow, interpreted patterns, and even felt the faint pulse of something alive beneath the planet's surface. Yet now, the feeling of anticipation grew stronger. Something extraordinary was about to happen. Eli adjusted the console, glancing at the glowing spirals on the planet below. "The patterns, they're changing. Look, Mara, they're becoming more regular, almost like a language." Mara's eyes widened. "A language? You really think we can understand it?" He shrugged, still focused on the readings. "I don't know, but it feels like it's trying to communicate with us." Mara moved closer to the viewport, her face bathed in the shifting lights of Zorath. The planet pulsed rhythmically, the spirals converging and expanding like a heartbeat. "Eli, humans are good at patterns. We've always been able to recognize shapes, signals, and logic. If this is communication, we can figure it out. We have to." Eli nodded slowly. "Okay, let's treat it like a puzzle. We make a move, see how it responds, and adapt, step by step." They returned to the console, carefully adjusting energy pulses to mirror the patterns they saw on the planet. Each pulse of energy they sent was answered almost immediately by a corresponding flash on Zorath's surface. It was slow at first, tentative, as if the planet was testing their intentions. But as Mara and Eli refined their technique, the responses became more precise, more deliberate. "It's learning," Mara whispered, her eyes shining. "It's learning how we communicate." Eli's face reflected both awe and excitement. "And we're teaching it too. This is incredible. Humans, have never interacted with an intelligent planet before. We're making history. Hours passed. Mara and Eli were completely absorbed in the process. They experimented with timing, sequence, and intensity of energy pulses. Each adjustment was answered in kind, the planet forming complex spirals, then branching patterns, and finally shapes that resembled symbols. "Look at this one," Eli said, pointing to a particular sequence on the screen. "It matches the way we signaled 2 hours ago. It's repeating our pattern deliberately. It's responding to us like a partner, not just a reaction." Mara's heart raced. "Then we're not just observing, we're collaborating. Humanity is connecting with something truly alien. We're partners in this, in a way no one else could ever be." The room vibrated lightly as the energy flow increased, but Mara and Eli were careful. They had learned to respect the planet's power. They had also learned that patience and observation were key. They didn't push recklessly. They allowed Zorath to guide them. As the day progressed, Mara noticed a pattern that repeated every 30 minutes. It was unlike anything they had seen before, a series of light pulses that formed a geometric design over the planet's surface. She studied it intently. "Eli, I think it's giving us instructions, or an invitation. Look at the timing. It's deliberate." Eli leaned over, studying the pattern. "An invitation? Do you mean it wants us to do something?" Mara nodded. "Yes. It's not dangerous. I can feel it. It's curious. And it wants us to respond. We have to be ready." They adjusted the console to mimic the pattern exactly, matching the timing, the intensity, and the sequence. The moment their energy pulse aligned perfectly with the planetary pattern, the station hummed louder than ever. Lights flashed in perfect harmony with the planet below. Mara and Eli exchanged a glance, both realizing the significance. "It worked," Eli whispered. "It understood us. We've completed the first true exchange." Mara's smile was radiant, and it's just the beginning. Humans are capable of understanding and creating connections even in the most alien circumstances. This is what exploration is about. The next few hours were a flurry of activity. Every experiment, every adjustment, every observation brought new insights. They were learning not only about the planet's energy but about its intelligence and adaptability. Zorath was more than a world. It was a conscious entity, capable of learning, responding, and even anticipating their actions. Eli leaned back, his hands folded behind his head. "You know, humans are incredible. Alone in the universe, and yet we can make a connection like this. With patience, curiosity, and teamwork, we can understand the unknown." Mara laughed softly. "Exactly. That's why we're here. That's why humanity survives and thrives. We face the impossible. We think, we learn, and we succeed." Just as the two were catching their breath, a sudden surge of energy shot through the station. Lights flickered, panels beeped, and the hum became almost deafening. Mara and Eli grabbed onto the console for stability. "Eli, contain it," Mara shouted. He reacted immediately, adjusting the containment fields. The surge was immense but brief. Within moments, the station stabilized, and the energy readings returned to normal. Mara exhaled sharply. "It's reacting to us again. But this time, it's testing us, seeing how we handle sudden changes." Eli nodded, impressed. "It's smart, adaptive, intelligent. Humanity has never faced anything like this. But we can do it. We're capable of learning, and we're brave enough to try." They continued their work, carefully analyzing the planet's response to different energy pulses. Slowly, a pattern emerged. Zorath was capable of complex reasoning. It could test, it could respond, and it could communicate in ways that were subtle but meaningful. Mara realized that humans had a unique advantage: creativity. While the planet reacted logically, they could think beyond patterns, improvise, and make choices based on intuition and empathy. "Eli," Mara said, excitement in her voice, "we can teach it things, not just respond. We can show it concepts. like cooperation, problem-solving, and even trust. Humanity can share ideas with it. Eli's eyes lit up. That's amazing. It's like we're building the first bridge between a human mind and a planetary intelligence. The possibilities are endless. The night cycle of the station arrived. Though outside, the stars and the glowing planet provided all the light they needed. Mara and Eli continued their work, energized by both the challenge and the discovery. They were completely alone, yet they felt a deep connection to each other, to their mission, and to the living world below. Hours turned into cycles, and finally, a breakthrough occurred. The planet emitted a burst of energy, a complex pattern that formed a clear sequence on the console. Mara studied it, then smiled. It's teaching us something, a concept, a principle of its energy. We can understand it if we follow carefully. Eli's voice was filled with awe. It's like a teacher, and we're students. Humanity is learning from a planet, a living, thinking planet. Mara nodded. And that's what makes us remarkable. We can learn from anything. We can adapt, create, and connect. We're alone in space, yes, but we're never truly alone. Not when we have curiosity, courage, and intelligence. As they carefully followed the planet's guidance, a deep sense of wonder settled over the two explorers. Every pulse, every pattern, every shimmer of light was a reminder that humans were capable of understanding the universe in ways no one had imagined. Finally, Mara looked at Eli, her expression soft but proud. Finally alone, and yet we're connected to something greater. Humanity has a place here, a purpose. Eli nodded, his eyes reflecting the swirling lights outside. And we'll keep learning, step by step, pattern by pattern. Humans never stop. That's what makes us human. Outside, the planet shimmered, almost as if acknowledging them, almost as if it understood their joy. For Mara and Eli, the feeling was overwhelming. They were alone, yes, but connected, to each other, to their mission, and to the living world beneath them. Humanity had reached a milestone, and the universe had answered with wonder. And in that quiet, glowing moment, Mara knew one thing. This was only the beginning. The station vibrated softly as Mara and Eli began the next phase of the experiment. Zorath's energy had settled into a rhythm, a pattern they could understand, but both knew that the planet's power was unpredictable. Every pulse, every flash of light carried intelligence, and every adjustment they made influenced how the planet responded. Eli checked the console, eyes scanning the readouts. The energy levels are stable for now. But the spikes we saw before, they could happen again. We need to prepare. Mara nodded. I know. We can't be reckless. But we also can't hesitate. We've come too far to stop now. Outside, the viewport. The planet shimmered with colors that shifted constantly as if alive. The spirals of light twisted and turned, responding to the energy flows they had initiated. It was beautiful, mesmerizing, but also full of unknowns. Mara felt a shiver of excitement. Humanity had never faced a challenge like this before, and now it was theirs to meet. Let's run the next sequence, Mara said, her fingers moving quickly across the control panel. We'll mirror the planet's patterns more closely this time. We need to see how it reacts. Eli adjusted the settings, his hands steady despite the tension. I'm ready. Let's do it. As the new sequence began, the station hummed. Louder, the lights flickering in response to Zorath's energy. The planet pulsed violently as if testing their skill. For a moment the room shook, and warning lights flashed across the console. Contain it. Now, Mara shouted. Eli's hands moved quickly, adjusting the containment fields and energy flow. The station trembled, but the surge was stabilized. Both humans took a deep breath. The energy had been strong, but they had handled it. They had succeeded. Every time we push further, it responds differently, Mara said, studying the readings. It's adaptive, intelligent. It's learning about us, just as we're learning about it. Eli nodded, admiration in his eyes. It's incredible. Humanity is facing something truly alien, and then we're keeping up. That's what makes us remarkable. We adapt, we think, we persevere. Hours passed as they carefully experimented with timing, intensity, and sequence. The planet's responses grew more complex, patterns intertwining in ways that challenged their understanding. Mara realized that this wasn't just a test. It was a lesson. Zorath was teaching them, pushing their intelligence and creativity to new limits. "Look at this sequence," Mara said, pointing at a series of energy pulses on the console. "It's repeating part of our earlier pattern, but it's also adding something new, a variation. It's guiding us." Eli studied the display, amazed. "It's like it's giving us a puzzle, a problem to solve. And if we solve it, we'll learn even more." Mara smiled. "Then let's solve it. Humans have always solved the impossible, Eli. This is just another challenge." Together they worked carefully, adjusting the energy pulses to match the new pattern. The station hummed in harmony with the planet, the vibrations flowing through the floor and into their bodies. Every adjustment brought clarity, and every success brought exhilaration. But Zorath's energy was unpredictable. Suddenly, a powerful surge shot through the station. The lights flickered violently, panels beeped urgently, and the hum rose to an almost deafening pitch. Mara grabbed a handle to steady herself. "Eli, contain it!" she shouted. Eli reacted, immediately fingers moving across the controls with precision. The surge was immense, stronger than any they had seen before. The station shook, but slowly, they stabilized the energy. Breathing heavily, Mara looked at the viewport. The planet pulsed in brilliant green and violet waves, as if acknowledging their effort. "It's testing us," she said. "It wants to see if we can handle challenges, if humans are truly capable." Eli nodded. "Then we prove it. Humans are capable of anything when we work together. We're problem solvers, innovators, explorers." The next several hours were a combination of careful observation and bold experimentation. Mara and Eli synchronized their actions perfectly, responding to the planet's energy with precision and creativity. They improvised solutions when unexpected surges occurred, predicting patterns before they fully emerged. Every success strengthened the connection, and every failure taught them something new. At one point, Mara noticed a complex geometric pattern forming across the planet's surface. She gasped. "Eli, it's showing us a sequence we've never seen before. It's teaching us how to interact more effectively. We have to follow it exactly." Eli studied the sequence on the console. "It's complicated, but I think we can do it. Humans excel at learning patterns. We can do this." Working together, they carefully matched the sequence, adjusting the energy pulses to mirror the planetary pattern. Slowly, the station vibrated in perfect harmony with the planet. The hum settled into a steady rhythm, and the lights flickered in a beautiful, synchronized dance. "It's working," Mara whispered, awestruck. "We're in perfect sync. The planet, it understands us, and we understand it." Eli smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it. Humanity is capable of connection even with something completely alien. That's what makes us extraordinary." But the challenge was not over. Zorath's energy shifted again, forming complex spirals that twisted and converged unpredictably. Mara and Eli realized that the planet was testing them further, pushing their limits to see how adaptable and clever humans could be. "Another test," Mara said, "and we're ready. We've faced every challenge so far, and we've learned from each one. We can handle this too." Eli nodded, determination in his eyes. "Exactly. Humans never give up. We analyze, we adapt, and we succeed. That's our strength." As the surge approached, they worked with incredible coordination. Mara directed the timing of the pulses, Eli monitored the intensity, and together, they guided the energy safely through the station's systems. The vibration increased, then slowly subsided, the station stabilizing once again. Mara exhaled, smiling despite the tension. "We did it. Another challenge met. Humanity is proving itself even here, alone in space." Eli nodded, exhaustion mixed with pride. And the planet, it's teaching us. Every test, every surge, it's a lesson. We're learning from it just as it's learning from us. They spent the rest of the cycle carefully observing, recording, and analyzing. Zorath's patterns became clearer, and the connection grew, stronger. Mara realized that humans had a unique advantage, creativity and ingenuity. While the planet responded logically, humans could think beyond patterns, anticipate changes, and solve problems in ways that even an intelligent planet could not predict. Eli, Mara said, excitement in her voice. We can teach it things, concepts, cooperation, problem-solving, trust. Humanity can share ideas with it. Eli's eyes lit up. It's like a bridge between minds, human and planetary intelligence working together. The possibilities are endless. As the night cycle of the station began, the stars outside sparkled against the black void. The planet's lights continued to dance, a reminder that the universe was alive, full of energy and intelligence. Mara and Eli, exhausted but exhilarated, knew that humanity had taken a step into a new era of exploration. Finally, Mara looked at Eli, her expression calm but proud. Finally alone. And yet, we're capable of anything. Humanity has a place in this universe. A purpose. Eli nodded, awe reflected in his eyes. And we'll keep learning. Step by step, pattern by pattern. Humans never stop. That's what makes us human. Outside, Zorath shimmered, almost acknowledging their success. The planet had tested them, challenged them, and taught them. Humanity had proven its worth, and the universe had responded. Mara and Eli settled into the control room, recording their observations, planning the next phase, and reflecting on the day's events. They were alone, yes, but their connection to the planet, to knowledge, and to each other made them feel part of something greater. And in that quiet, glowing moment, Mara understood one truth. Humans could face the unknown, solve problems, and rise to challenges that seemed impossible. Alone or together, humans were capable of brilliance, courage, and discovery, and this was only the beginning. The station hummed steadily, a comforting rhythm that echoed the energy pulses of Zorath below. Mara and Eli had spent days in continuous observation, experiment, and careful adjustment. Each cycle brought new insights, new patterns, and new challenges. They were alone, yes, but the bond between them and the connection they had forged with the planet made them feel part of something far greater. Eli leaned back in his chair, rubbing his eyes. Mara, I don't think I've ever been this exhausted, but I've also never felt this alive. Mara smiled, her eyes reflecting the swirling lights outside. This is why humans explore, Eli. Curiosity, courage, and intelligence. It's what drives us, and we've proven over and over that even alone we can achieve the extraordinary. She turned back to the console, where the latest energy readings showed a pattern unlike anything they had seen. The lights on the planet shimmered in complex spirals, branching and converging, responding to the experiment with an elegance that left Mara in awe. This is it, she whispered. The final pattern. If we synchronize perfectly, we'll complete the connection. Humanity will truly communicate with a living planet. Eli leaned over her shoulder, studying the sequence. It's beautiful, complicated, but elegant. We can do this, Mara. We've faced every challenge, learned every lesson. Now it's time. They began the final sequence, their hands moving in perfect coordination. Every pulse, every adjustment, every movement was precise. The station hummed louder, vibrating in harmony with Zorath's energy. Outside, the planet pulsed brilliantly, its lights responding to their efforts in a mesmerizing display of color and motion. Hours passed, but Mara and Eli were undeterred. Their focus was unwavering. They were no longer just humans experimenting. With alien energy, they were participants in a conversation, bridging the gap between humanity and a living, intelligent world. Suddenly, a surge of energy swept through the station. Lights flickered, panels beeped, and the hum reached a crescendo. Mara and Eli exchanged a glance, determination shining in their eyes. "Hold steady," Mara instructed. "We've trained for this. We can handle it." Eli's hands moved quickly, adjusting the containment fields, stabilizing the flow. The surge was immense, but they managed it, their coordination perfect. Slowly, the station steadied, and the hum settled into a smooth, rhythmic pulse. Outside, Zorath's surface shimmered with a brilliance that took their breath away. The spirals and patterns now formed shapes that were unmistakably deliberate, almost like symbols aligned perfectly with the energy flow of the station. "It's complete," Mara whispered. "We've done it. Humanity has reached out, and the planet has answered." Eli nodded, awe in his eyes. "It's incredible. We're the first humans to truly connect with an intelligent world. And we did it together." For a moment, the two stood in silence, marveling at the glowing patterns below. They had faced danger, uncertainty, and the unknown. Yet they had succeeded. Their courage, intelligence, and teamwork had made the impossible possible. Mara placed her hand on the console, feeling the energy pulse beneath her fingers. "I think it understands us now, not just our actions, our intentions. It knows we mean no harm, that we're here to learn, to explore, to connect." Eli joined her, resting, his hand beside hers. "And I think it trusts us. Humanity has earned a friend today." The realization filled them with pride. They were alone, yes, but not lonely. They were part of a greater connection, one that spanned worlds, energies, and intelligence beyond human comprehension. Over the next few hours, they explored the new possibilities. The planet's energy patterns offered knowledge and insights. Simple adjustments revealed new sequences, and careful observation allowed them to anticipate the planet's responses. Mara and Eli documented every detail, knowing that humanity's future explorers would benefit from their discoveries. "This is what humans do best," Mara said, a smile spreading across her face. "We adapt, we learn, we create connections. Even in the most alien circumstances, we find understanding." Eli nodded. "And we never stop. Humans are explorers by nature. We face challenges, solve problems, and grow stronger. Zorath, this planet, it's proof of that." As the station stabilized, the energy flowing through the systems became smoother, more harmonious. Mara realized that the planet was no longer testing them. It was collaborating. Their actions and the planet's energy were now in perfect sync, a living demonstration of cooperation between species separated by form, but united by intelligence and curiosity. "Eli," Mara said softly, "we've done more than complete an experiment. We've built a bridge between humanity and an entirely new form of intelligence, a bridge of understanding and trust." Eli's eyes glowed with excitement. "And think of what this means. If humans can connect with one planet, we can connect with others. We can learn, grow, and explore in ways no one imagined." Mara looked out the viewport, marveling at the planet below. Its lights swirled in patterns that reflected their actions, as if acknowledging their success. Finally alone. And yet, never truly alone. Humanity has made a friend, a partner, and a lesson for the universe. Eli smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "And tomorrow, we continue, step by step, pattern by pattern. Humans never stop learning. That's what makes us extraordinary." Together they began the final documentation of their experiment, recording the energy patterns, the planetary responses, and the lessons they had learned. Every detail mattered. Every discovery was a step toward a future where humans could explore, with confidence, intelligence, and courage. As night, or the station's artificial cycle, fell, Mara and Eli paused to reflect. Outside, Zorath continued to glow, a living reminder of their achievement. They were alone, yes, but connected, too. Knowledge to the planet and to each other. Mara turned to Eli, her expression calm but proud. "We did it. Humanity has reached farther than anyone else. We've proven what humans are capable of: curiosity, courage, intelligence, and connection. Eli nodded, feeling the weight of their accomplishment. And we've only just begun. Humanity will continue to explore, to learn, and to grow. Alone or together, we rise to the challenge. That's who we are. Outside, Zorath pulsed gently, its energy flowing through the station, a peaceful and intelligent rhythm. Mara and Eli stood together, hands brushing slightly, a quiet acknowledgement of their shared triumph. Humanity had faced the unknown, embraced it, and succeeded. And in that moment, Mara knew that their isolation had been a gift. Alone, they had discovered courage. Alone, they had achieved brilliance. Alone, they had connected with something extraordinary. Humanity was more than survival. It was curiosity, intelligence, and heart, finally alone. And we did it, Mara whispered. Eli nodded, a soft smile on his face. Yes, and we did. Humanity has made its mark, and the universe has answered. The station hummed softly in harmony with the planet below. Mara and Eli gazed out the viewport, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment, connection, and hope. Humanity had proven its courage, ingenuity, and spirit. And as the stars stretched endlessly into the black void, Mara and Eli knew one truth: humans could face the unknown, solve the impossible, and shine brightly, even alone. And that was only the beginning.